Pam, I'll have to unmute you. But okay, so today we're going to go through Pam's transformation story here in the academy. She's going to talk about her journey starting before the academy, kind of how she felt, where she was at, why she decided to join, kind of her feelings on before joining about the program, once she got in, her journey through the program, her struggles, her triumphs, her learnings, and what she now is on to after the program into the Heroes program. So that's our 12-month program. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys Pam's photos of her before and after. So as you can see, her 12-week transformation here was pretty dramatic. I'm super proud of what she's done. She can tell you a little bit more about her statistics, her demographics, all that stuff, but she has a lot of things that they're definitely in the more difficult category of losing any sort of weight. So she really had a dramatic transformation here. 15 pounds lost. Really, you don't see any muscle mass. You can see from the midsection completely decreased in dramatic inches. So I'm super duper proud of her and super excited to announce her and her transformation story. So Pam, I'll go ahead and unmute you. Wait. All right, go ahead and tell us about your transformation story in the Noah Fitness Academy. And
all right,
Pam, tell me, for anybody who's going to be watching this in the future, tell me your name, where you're from,
sure.
that stuff, what you do.
My name is Pam Kevelo. I am from Plainfield, Illinois. I am 54 years old. I'm a skin specialist. I'm a medical esthetician and laser technician. That's what I do for a living. I'm on my feet all day long, and I work with my arms and hands, and I do treatments for people. It's a very physical job. So I need to be conditioned for this because I'm getting old and it gets harder after you get older. My difficulty, well, being a female, being in my, I'm basically in my mid 50s, overshare, but I don't have any hormones. They were removed 5 years ago. And the average woman gains between 30 and 50 pounds after she has that type of surgery done, or she goes through menopause. And your triggers and your energy levels, they do change quite a bit. So it becomes even more of a challenge to be able to maintain your weight, let alone lose weight. So I did a lot of yo-yoing. I was going down, feeling good about myself. And then I just seemed to kick right back where I started. Like my body just wanted to hang on to it. Even work for a doctor that he would say, oh yeah, I see you lost some weight, but you yo-yo a lot. Oh, that was crushing. That really was a rough call. I was like, yeah, I guess I do. And I really don't want to do that anymore. I want to lose the weight. I want my body to work better for me and make those changes. So I mostly wanted to feel good. I wanted to look good in my clothes. I am a little bit older. I'm not going to have that tight, taut skin anymore. So maybe I'm not going to be in a bikini, but if I'm in a bathing suit or if I'm in a fitted dress, I want to go out dancing. That's what I wanted to do. I want to go out dancing and feel like everyone on the dance floor wasn't going, sit down, lady. And I wanted to have that kind of mojo again. So I have worked out in the past with trainers myself. I've done just about everything there is to do, all the way from starting out with doing Reebok step and slide in a little tiny workout studio to a large gym. And I said, I really need to do something and figure out something that makes it work for me. So Noah suggested that I do this program, and being of my generation, I don't know, and maybe other people work with computers, but I don't. So I said, I'm going to do this online, and you're going to help me figure this out, and you're not going to stand over me and tell me what to do and be there. I don't understand. I don't get it. And he said, you got to experience it. You'll get it. It's going to take you, I'll walk you through it. It's going to be great. So when I started this, he said, what's your why? Why do you want to do anything to change your body? And I told him, I said, I want to feel really, really good. I want to feel like I'm never going to be on the sidelines. I see people my age already on the sidelines. They can't walk. They need knee replacements. And they're not athletes. They're not somebody who wore that down. They're somebody who does no activity, so their whole body's just wearing down. And I didn't want that at all. And said, I need to make some changes and I need them to be permanent. So he told me about it, and I said, I am old school. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to do this. And he says, don't worry about it. I'm going to walk you through it. So when I signed up for everything, he walked me through the apps. I got everything connected, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get my phone out and I'm going to do all these things. It was different for me. It was really hard. I mean, some of you guys are a lot younger and you're just like, yeah, apps, I do it all the time. But for me, it was just a little bit different. Had a lot of conversations with Noah online, emailing and doing the messenger saying, I'm not doing this right. I'm not connected. And he really had to walk me through a lot of these things. So that was great. And he was really, really there, and he connected it. And so in the beginning, I said, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I started it. I look at my workouts. Okay, I can handle these workouts. This is kind of what I do. He gave me what my calorie intake was going to be, my macros in a basis, but I wasn't really understanding any of that. But I got to talk to him all the time. I kept sending him messages saying, I'm not sure about this. What do you mean by that? And he kept giving me these little blurt backs. It was great support. It was different. It was different than anything I did before. Just stepping into the gym and having a quick conversation with somebody was different than being able to have that full access. So getting that full access, it was really, really great. And I said, okay, I'm getting all my questions answered all the time. I felt actually a little better connection than seeing somebody a few days a week. So I wasn't doing all the check-ins. I wasn't looking on the Fitness Pro all the time. And I started seeing some results because I was kind of watching things and being more conscious of it. And then Noah said, you need to check in. You need to do those pictures. And I thought, I don't want to do those pictures. That was rough. And I'm sure all of you guys are just like, oh, I don't like to take these pictures. But even when I thought I was making progress and I thought I could slide back, those pictures, what really told me, no, yeah, you got some changes, but you have some work to still do. Stick with it and go. So I started logging in everything. I started doing the program, and I said, all right, I'm just going to have faith in this. I'm just going to go all in. I'm going to do the program, and I'm going to take those pictures that I dread every week. And I was even putting them side by side going, ooh, I'm really starting to see the changes, but yet I knew I still had to do more work. So I have some notes here for me. So sorry, everyone. So I started to do everything on the apps, and I got into a good flow of it. I actually got some help. If you're in my generation and you're not really good with apps, grab somebody who's younger and just say, hey, how do I work this? And they can really kind of get you into the details of it. Noah's answered a ton of my questions. Even some of you have answered my questions on the group conversations. So I really started getting into it. I did the pictures. I started doing everything every day. And I was kind of creeping into my results and happy with that jump change. It was like 5-7 pounds, but I had so far to go. And I said, all right, I'm going to trust in this and I'm going to do everything. I've actually seen him do transformations where he was at a plateau and just on a hold saying, I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting the process over and over again. And he knew for sure eventually things would change and would kick in. So I finally said, this is it. I'm doing it, everything exactly how I'm supposed to be doing it. And it took a while. I saw week after week the same weights. And I was thinking maybe 1 pound. I was like getting really, really frustrated. I said, no, I'm going to stick with it. And I did. And then it was great. My body broke. My body said, fine, I'm going to let this go. It started to really understand the energy I was giving it, the energy I was expending. So it was becoming a little bit more in sync with my whole system. And I started to see some changes, and my body finally gave in and it went with the program. And I started seeing these 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 2 pounds, and it was changing. And it wasn't just the pounds, it was the inches. It was the way things fit. I was putting on my uniform that I couldn't wear before because it was just too tight. I literally thought if I'd bend down and help somebody or pick something off the floor, I was going to split my pants. So I was wearing my big baggy ones and I got those back on. So it was really cool to see the changes, and it took a little while. I did have those frustrations where I had those plateaus, but I would see those other little nuances happening, thinking, okay, my body's starting to get into this. I know it's going to happen. So those plateaus, we got through that and we started to see some changes. It really was this last 4 weeks that I made some significant changes. That first part of it was just getting me in that rhythm of the program, the rhythm of going out to dinner and looking at a menu. And while I was looking at the menu and everyone's chatting, I was pre-calculating what I could do, how I could alter my meal while I was ordering. We do go out to eat a lot. And it was becoming second nature. It was like driving that stick shift. I wasn't thinking about putting it in first, second, and third. It was just happening. And I felt really good about it. And if I wanted to have a cocktail at the end of the night, I knew that I was going to be a little bit better and a little bit tighter. Instead of putting my mayo in my tuna, I was throwing my tuna in my salad with my dressing. So I gave myself my 100 calories. I was saying, I can manipulate all this so I can do my life the way I want to do it. And I started to work the program. It really started to be great. And I didn't not go anywhere or do anything or socialize. And I was feeling good. When things started changing with me, Noah actually changed my macros. He changed how many calories I took in. He gave me more. He changed what I was doing for my carbs. And that started to change for me. It changed for my energy. So that was great. And I was able to keep on going. So just a little bit more about me in my household. I don't live in a clean fit household. Some people might think that everyone in my house eats clean and they do everything they want. I actually have every obstacle from Haagen-Dazs ice cream to cookies sitting on the counter every single day, because not everyone in my house wants to be in this program. Not that I wouldn't want them to be. That would be fantastic for me. And at work, we get a lot of reps that come in. They drop off stuff all the time. There's cakes and cookies and chocolates and all different kinds of thank yous or gimmies from the different people that walk through our office. And it's an obstacle course all the time. So it's not easy. And these people that I do things with that don't want to have the same lifestyle, they order the heavy desserts, the heavy beers, and they're just doing a whole different life. And I get, well, you look fine, you're done, you did it, go back to everything else that you normally did. So I have a lot of naysayers surrounding me. So it is definitely something that you have to get in that mindset. That mindset is totally, I'd say for me, it's almost 99% this mindset, and the 1%, because a lot of us has been doing these things before. So we kind of understand the idea of going to the gym and working out and how these things work. And maybe you're learning some new things and a new way to do it, or a pattern that's benefiting you, but you kind of had those things that you were doing in the past, or, not so long ago. But keeping that mindset, saying, this is not who I am. I don't want to be this person anymore. I don't want to give up, and I don't want to yo-yo. I once had a post that I said, I lost a certain amount of weight and I never want to find it again. I'm not even going to go trying to go looking for it. So that is definitely where I am right now. So I decided that I'm going to continue with the program, even though I have a real great rhythm going. I want to go on to get a little bit more detailed and get this mindset to be just a little bit different for me. So I am going on to Noah's Hero program, which is awesome. Yeah. It's going to be a little bit different format, so I'm excited. And again, this is a whole new world for me, this whole online. I never thought that I would feel more one-on-one support being not physically in the same space as somebody. And that was really impressive for me, because I didn't think it would. This community here has been great. Maybe if I don't post that much and that active on the site, I read everything everyone puts out there. And when you guys are doing successful things, it just empowers me to stay on track and be more successful. I love it. I love hearing what everyone's doing. I love hearing everyone's struggles. I love hearing that you're having a bad week, because I have bad weeks too. And that you're going, I'm not quite sure if I can do this. And just having that thing, everyone in my head going, no, you can do this. You've got this. We're going to be there for you. I'm going to be there for you. I love that kind of community. I don't have enough people that want this mindset around me. So I need all of you. So this is a really great thing for me. This is like not being alone, saying that there are so many other people that want to be like this and have this. But when you're just surrounded and it weighs you down like an anchor, you feel like you have to just let go and you have to join the crowd. I've always liked to be a little bit outside of the crowd. I haven't ever wanted to be like everybody else. I was a very different, confident person. And as my body started to change, I started to slide out of that and lose that. I did improv for a really long time, got off stage because I didn't feel good about myself. So I'm ready to jump back into all the things that I love to do before. And I know I want to do better. So I want to have an even stronger conviction to change my body even more. So my thing is, I don't want to live, I don't want to give up, what I have now. So, and I'd like to improve it. I'm looking forward to this transformation, my next one. I have another goal. I have a little bit more to go. I need a little more lean body mass. I'd like to build more muscle because it gives me the strength and energy to do everything I do during the day because my job is physical. So it's this transformation, this fit me. I know I love that transformation or that statement, fit Pam. This healthy attitude, this strong, empowered me to seep out of every pore that I have. I want it to be contagious. I want to be patient, fit zero, and that I infect everyone around me. I want people, instead of being able to take it away from me and bring me down, is it so powerful in me that I radiate it to other people. Instead of them saying, have the cupcake, they say, maybe I'm not going to have the cupcake today. And what have you been doing? And how did that work for you? Because you seem like you have that sparkle and that energy, and I kind of want that. So that's what I'm looking to do, and I can't wait to share what's next.
Sweet, amazing story. How about we all give a round of applause to Pam for her transformation here in the academy? Kick some major ass. So awesome. So I'm gonna hit you with 3 quick questions, and I'm gonna open the whole group up to Q&A. But I want to just hit you with a few questions to help maybe the newer members here.
Sure.
My first question is, what do you recommend for somebody who's brand new into this program? What's like the first steps that they need to do to really become successful and not get overwhelmed? Maybe just 1 or 2 things that you could recommend to somebody brand new.
Well, I think if you try to do everything all at once, if you try to master your diet and master your exercise, you're going to feel really overwhelmed. If you know that you can get to the gym and you can make that kind of a success for you, that's great. But if your food issue was the tricky part, then master that first. Get that Fitness Pal to work for you. And if you're not sure how it works or how to utilize it with menus when you're out, and how you work in the daytime, start asking questions. But master one thing really strong, and then get the other part of it strong, and then together they're just going to become second nature. But I think if you try to do it all perfectly at once, you're going to perhaps explode.
Great, perfect. My next question for you is, how did you get past the hard parts? What would you say is one recommendation you'd give to get past the uncertainty? What would you do, and what did you do that got you past those things? Because we had a lot of plateaus. So what would you suggest to get past those mentally? When
you listen to somebody who knows about something, and I've seen a lot of different things. I've been online for all different kinds of fitness things, and watching them go. And 1 week it's this, the next week it's that, the next week it's another new thing. I liked how everything was even keel. It was like, don't change anything until it starts shifting. Because I think that was really important. And I kept listening. I kept hearing that from you, saying you have to trust in the process and don't change anything. Because when you're all radical about everything, you're just never going to know what's going to work for you. So I just kept saying to myself, trust in the program, trust in, what you're saying for me to do, and let it keep plowing forward until it changes. Because I've seen you do things where I say, you know, well, can't you have like some fruit? And you're like, if you keep throwing in variables, you don't know how it's going to work for you or not work for you and what to change. So I just kept saying, I'll talk about what my wins are, what my stagnant is, or what my fails were. And then we were going to make these small changes, and I was just going to stick with it and just trust it. And it was great, because I think if I would have shifted it up so much, I don't think that my metabolism would ever have surrendered and said, fine, I'll burn your stupid fat like it did.
Great. Awesome. Awesome. Trusting the process. That's good. So my final question to you is, what would you say is the biggest mistake somebody should avoid in this program? If you could help them just really not make one mistake, what would that be, and how to solve that?
What would be the biggest mistake they would do in the program?
Yep.
I think, honestly, for me, it was having those small changes where you do feel those shifts in your clothes, and you know you lost a little bit, but you weren't really keeping up on your check-ins. Those were really hard for me. But when I said I'm going to do all the check-ins, it gave you that capability of taking a look at things. It really helped me look in the mirror. I mean, when you're looking at pictures of yourself and you just see, you know, like your body there, that really made me not want to cheat. Because I mean, it's not like when you talk about cheat meals and stuff like that, there's a certain point where you have to be fairly regimented to be able to reach your goals. And then I think when you get to a certain point, you're going to have more wiggle room. It's not that my life was hell. I mean, I really did everything that I wanted to do. I just manipulated my day a little bit so that I can enjoy a couple of things that I wanted to. But if I never ever took those pictures and I didn't check in with you and put my weights down, show myself exposed, you know, the sports bra and the pants, geez, that's not a comfort zone for me. If I didn't do that, I would have been under the illusion that I was doing okay. But it really, really made me make those changes. It really made me buckle down and saying, I still don't see what I want to see. I have to do everything I need to do. And I have to get better at doing, you know, manipulating everything. And then you've done your talks about changing your intake during the day if you wanted to have a splurge at night, so you're staying in that caloric range. And you know, it's not like I was doing it a lot. It's just every once in a while you'd go somewhere, you're thinking I'd like to have a nice cocktail at the end of the night. So I made those changes. But I'd have to say, if you don't do the check-ins and you don't really see yourself and do those photos, try to have somebody do them for you if you can. I think it's a little easier to really get a better judgment. And my last photos, I am wearing exactly the same thing I wore the first time. And that's helpful too, because every time I changed up my clothes, I couldn't tell, because one pair of pants was white and bright, and that's going to make my caboose look a little bigger. And then the black kind of takes away the light. So I was trying to stay in that same, if you could take your pictures in the same thing that you take them in all the time, it's really great for you too, to really see that, you know, either you're not making that progress and you got to buckle down, or that you're making that progress and you're like, this is great. You know, now it's time to ask for some changes so that you can move on to something, you know, even more detailed.
Awesome. Perfect. That's such a good one, because a lot of us, we don't want to do the things that make us uncomfortable. However, to make our bodies change to something we've never been, we have to go where we've never gone. So you have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's one of the number one things that successful people do, is they get very comfortable being uncomfortable all the time, because that's how you get to places where you've never been. So photos are the most uncomfortable. I hate them. I typically never even look at my photos as long as possible. And I do this all the time. But it's the thing that really gets you back into the zone. It gets you into reality on why you're in this, because you did something uncomfortable. And it makes you more willing to do the things that it takes. Because truly, I love safety just as much as everybody else. But my why drives me to do those things. Practicing being uncomfortable is how we get there. Super, super awesome. So I'm going to open it up to everybody here. Whoever has a question for Pam and her journey, now's your time. Let's get a different perspective than just me in this program.
I think doing the check-ins and the measuring, I think that's a big help, because in the past I would never do that, and like today, I just couldn't believe I lost 2 inches around my waist because I had that measurement for 4 or 5 years, and in a week, we had it down 2 inches. I think that's kind of set me back in years past, because I'm like, okay, you don't have that confidence that you really did it, because so I think that helps the check-ins and always keeping notes of that, because that was like all day today. I couldn't believe that just happened in 7 days.
Amazing, absolutely. That's why we do all these measurements, because there's typically something that's happening, and not everything can see everything. The scale's just one piece, the pictures are another piece, measurements are a third piece. When you have them all combined, you can truly get an idea of what's going on. Very good.
Yeah. I have a scale. It's called a fit tracker, and it's electrodes, and I stand on it with bare feet, and it puts a current through your bodies. But if you have a pacemaker or pregnant stuff, you don't want that going through you. But you're not. And it gives me my body mass index, my visceral fat, my sub-Q, my water intake, which is really cool because it can tell me if I'm dehydrated. It was a really cool tool for me. Now, accuracy, let's somebody puts you in a float tank, your body mass index really isn't, 100%, but be able to see it change. Those were things that actually changed and my weight wasn't changing. So that's a really cool thing too, to be able to do it. So if anyone wants to get more technical with their scale, Fit Tracker, they always send you a goofy little coupon. I think it was like $80 shipped for free. And it's an app on your phone, and every day you can watch and see all those changes. And I did lose 2 points on my body mass index. I mean, it went, am I there?
Yep.
It went down. My visceral fat went down tremendously. That was incredible. I have the little chart has this landslide. And I didn't start the scale right away. I started at 4 weeks. So, but it still showed those big changes. And I really enjoyed that. And it was nice because sometimes if you don't take in enough water too, those things really can be difficult, but you don't know if your body's got good water inside of it or not. As we get older, we don't hold our water. So I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, we just don't maintain it inside our bodies. So if you see that that's way down, you know that you need to take in more water, and then you actually start to see some digestive changes and some weight changes too. So it was kind of a cool tool for me.
Great. Why don't you go ahead and post that in the group again?
I will. I'll post it in the group again. It was really, really great. It used to be something that would be extremely expensive. Now they're super reasonable. And the fun thing is, if anyone else in your family, it's a good way to even have them think about it. You can have them each have their own, they can download the app, and it takes up to 8 people. So you can have everyone on the family watching all of these changes.
Awesome. Cool. Any other questions for Pam? Anything you guys are struggling, you want to bounce some ideas off of Pam? She's here for you.
Bueller.
Sweet. That was amazing. Thank you again, Pam. You have been tremendous, kicking so much ass. Super excited to have.
Can I put one thing out there?
Sure.
Because I'm not done with my journey. I would like to lose 10 more pounds and tone myself up. And I have some different requests for Noah. I'll be putting out there that I'd like him to detail with me for different exercises. But I thought I would put it out there, lay it out on the slab that I'd like to lose 10 more pounds. I think that's going to be my max for my age, for how lean I'd like to get, for just the way I'm built. And yeah, it's going to happen. So I'm just letting you guys know that's where my next range is.
That's what's up. Committing it right there. That's badass. I wasn't expecting that. Really awesome. Super, super, super cool. Well, again, Pam, you kick total ass in the academy. I'm ready to kick more and more ass. One of the most important things she said is she wants to be the example to change other people's lives. I think that's extremely important, and those are the type of heroes I want in the hero program, the people that not just want it for them, they want it for others. So giving just the way she gave to tonight to the program is what it's all about. So that is what's up. Totally, totally hero shit. Nice job.
I have a question for all of you.
Yep.
Okay, maybe not my brand new people, but I'm sure all of you have probably had people that have commented to you. They've said something to you like you look good, you look lean, you look like just kind of not even, maybe they can't even put their finger on it, but I'm sure everyone's probably gotten a couple of pretty nice compliments from people lately. Yes?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome.
That was probably one of the best things that's happened to me in the last week, is that I had everyone that I haven't seen that comes through my office, clients that I've seen for 10 years, and they've all said to me, they walked up to me and the first thing they said to me was, "You've lost weight." And they're just like, wow. And I actually had somebody told me I need a new uniform. It was too big, but it was nice, but it's really, really nice. So, you know, listen to those cues too. You know, you get into your head and sometimes you don't hear it when people are saying that, you know, you look good, you look happy. That's because they're seeing some great changes in you. You know, take it all in, let it pump you up, let it bring you up.
Yep. Great. Awesome. Thank you again, Pam. Super excited to have you keep on going. We are all going to keep killing it together. All right. So I'm going to now open it up to any sort of Q&A, any sort of support before we leave. Any questions, any struggles, any comments, any gives right now.
Hey, Noah, can you please, I know you gave me via text the name of those bars that you purchased, the meal bars that you purchased on Amazon. Can you post it to the group so I can have it again?
Oh,
please?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. These are Rise bars, and check them out.
Rise. That's what I couldn't remember the name. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge fan of those. Great. I'll post those. Let me make a note. Anyone else? Support? Anything? Any challenges? Questions about the program? Comments?
I could, if I could.
Yep.
Because I will. I guess I'm a little interested, and I apologize for not asking sooner, but my question for Pam, but I guess if anybody else wants to chime in, I'd be interested in hearing about it. I had company in town this past weekend, and we went out to dinner last night it was a pretty nice place. So therefore, everything in the menu was pretty rich and caloric. And I had set aside about 1,000 calories for this dinner, and I still managed to go over. Now, of course, these food entries weren't on MyFitnessPal, so I was really just kind of, taking a shot in the dark at this stuff. But I'm curious to know, how does everybody else manage that kind of thing as far as I guess, I know I try to order the most basic things on the menu, like a steak or whatever, and log it appropriately. But if you go somewhere where it's not quite like that, where everything's in sauces or things like that, how do you handle that, just out of curiosity?
Well,
Pam?
anytime I go out to dinner, if you're going to a higher end restaurant, it's even easier, believe it or not. Their chefs are chefs, and they'll make anything any way you want it. So if you see anything on the menu and you think to yourself, I'd really like that, but I'm not quite sure what this, glaze and blah, blah, blah is, I'll ask for it on the side. I'll just say, hey, can they just put that on the side? And if somebody gives you kind of a quirky look, you can always say you have food allergies, you're not sure, or, you just want to make sure that it's going to set well with you digestively wise. So when it's very, very saucy stuff, I get everything on the side. If something is heavily starched, I'll ask for a replacement for it and ask what they provide, or I'll look in the menu and I'll see whatever else is with any other entree, so I know they have it, and I'll ask them to substitute. And if you get a server that's a little edgy about things like that, just remind them, you know, your chef is a chef. He can make anything, any way. Please just have him bring it for me like this. I'm sure he'll have no problems doing it. A lot of servers will accommodate you, and you'll get the one every once in a while will give you this stink eye. And but you know, just let them know, don't insult your chef. Your chef can make anything anyway. I know he can. And this is what I need from him. I'd like to try this, but these are the things that I'd like him to stay separate. And if you do something to a little bit of taste instead of a saturation, then you know you're eliminating a lot of the calories in those things. My daughter works in catering and restaurants, and she says, without a doubt, you should be able to alter anything at any restaurant the way you want it, and the chef should have no problem with it.
And I do try to do that as much as I possibly can. And I don't really care if the server gives me a stink eye. I mean, well, the thing is I'm the customer. I'm not going to be a jerk about it. But I mean, if that's the way I want it, that's the way I want it. But I think like at least the place we were at last night, like, you know, sauteed vegetables are going to be in a lot of butter. And even though like Pam, you had mentioned that you try to plan ahead and, you know, a lot calories for, you know, a bigger, richer dinner or whatever, I still didn't allot enough, I don't think. I allotted 1,000 calories. That's a lot of calories for one meal.
Even the sauteed vegetables, just tell them, say, I don't want these sautés, I want them steamed.
Yep.
And I'm serious. I mean, I get wicked. My husband calls me Sally. So you guys ever seen when Harry Met Sally and she orders like everything specifically?
Yep, I like it the way I like it.
I am the biggest Sally there is, and I just tell them, you know, these come sauteed. That's not in my you know, how I like it. I'd like these steamed. And I really pull it apart. And if there's something on another meal that they have, I'll just mix and match it and make it the way I have. And I know it's weird sometimes when you go out with people to kind of be like that, because you're thinking, oh gosh, the other people at the table are thinking I'm nuts. But I've had more meals come in front of me and people are like, I should have ordered it that way, because their stuff is just soaked and saturated, over salted, over you know, cream sauced. And it's just full of everything. They might as well have, you know, I don't know, horse meat on there. I like things really clean. I like to be able to taste my food individually, you know, really get the experience of it. So, but it is hard. It is hard to do that. And, you know, sushi was a little bit tricky because everything's wrapped in rice. And it's sugar rice, you know, they put sugar in the rice because they make it sticky rice. So, you know, that you're really jacking up your calories with that. I've asked how many of these different rolls can they roll in a cucumber as opposed to rice, and you get surprised. You're just like, almost all of them. I was like, really? That's great. Do that. And it's been just a kind of an adventure, just saying how much can I, you know, bend to enjoy. Because me, it's a social thing. I mean, unless you went somewhere where it was like such a cool thing, this chef is like really, really well known, and you want to try the way that he did things. I mean, you do the right thing, and if you went over, you probably woke up the next day. You might have been waking up the next day like a pound lighter, because you normally don't do that, and you probably gave your body this little weird shock, and then you drop some weight. But as long as you don't do it a lot, because if I do something like that a lot, I'd be back to square one.
Agreed. I got company coming in this weekend too, so I'm just really going to try to limit eating out, but it's almost unavoidable.
Yeah, I just started making food for everyone that comes over just the way I want it, and if they want something different, you know, they can slather something on it. But I haven't gotten too many complaints, and most of the people that know me now got pretty used to the way I order, and you know, I am Sally to everyone.
Awesome. That's some super, super good advice, and I appreciate that greatly. Number one takeaway from that is truly the most successful people, they take control. They take control of their life because their goals are important to them. Everybody likes you know, we learn to have everybody walk over us, and that's a disempowered position. And through this journey is truly a chance to become empowered. And a lot of the times you want to, you know, think about like, who's going to judge me on this? Are they going to support me or not? But it really comes down to, you'll know who are the true people in your life. And also you'll know how to stand up for yourself. These are more powerful skills than just hitting your goals. They're things that make you hit your goals, not only physically, but financially, emotionally, in relationships. So it's very, very powerful stuff to learn how to control your life. So I think that's really good advice. Truly, if you need what you want, or if you need something to eat at the restaurant, trust the chef that they can make it. So I think that's an excellent takeaway. Very, very, very good. I can give you my advice on this. It just depends on the type of person you are, but I either get, and this is advanced stuff, but you either get very good at getting ahead of the game, or you get very good at making up your ground. Now, that I highly discourage making up ground, because very few people, unless they already know how to get ahead of the game, probably already would be ahead of the game. That's a very, very difficult skill set to have, and a risky skill set to have, is saying, I'm just going to run extra. I'm going to diet extra after, although this has to happen sometimes. But I'm typically the person that gets ahead of the game during the week, so that they can absorb more things during the weekend. Again, a risky position, but when you get very good at these things and you have very hard rules for yourself, like when it comes down to brass tacks, I'm the person that can't be broken. I'm unbreakable when it comes to brass tacks, but it's just who I've become. But if you can become that person, when it comes down to it, it gets a lot easier to deal with these situations, because you'll have a point where you're going to say, nope, no matter what, I can't change. I'm sorry. And then you can get ahead of the game and have times where you just completely enjoy yourself. But that's where we all want to get to. But I always say, absolutely get ahead before you try to get behind and make up. Super awesome. Any other questions or support before we sign out here? We all good?
Good.
Great. Good, good, good. Frank, you good?
I'm good.
Good. Brian?
Definitely, yep.
Great. Jennifer? Sweet. Leah?
Yep.
Awesome. Michelle?
Yes.
Good. Jenny?
Yep.
All right. Susan, you good?
On board.
Sweet. Lara?
I'm good.
Beautiful. Let's give Pam another round of applause for kicking ass in the program and sharing your story. That's a big deal, and that's tough to do. So everybody, let's do the peace, love, and gains, and have an awesome rest of the weekend. All right, everybody. Peace, love, and gains. All right, let's kill it this week.
Yeah.
Let's do it up. Everybody have an awesome weekend, and let's do it.
All right.